Hey everybody, this is Ramon Williamson. Happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday. I'm excited to jump in with you today. Let me just make sure that my sound and all of that is working awesome today. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so it looks like we are good to go. Now, today we're mostly going to be over here on this whiteboard because I'm literally going to walk you through step by step, taking the idea that you have, the knowledge, and turning that into something that people will pay you money for. And that's what we're going to focus on. That's really our goal, our intention, what we're doing together today. And it's going to be roll up our sleeve and actually get this going. Okay. So here's my whiteboard, and what we're going to do is we're going to step through this. And by the way, if you haven't sent me a text message from what I invited you into yesterday, you definitely want to do that because I'm going to go into more detail. I'm going to go into more detail related to specifically how to make a product, okay? How to make a product. And my goal here is not to try to necessarily go over, 500 different things with you or give you 12 different choices or cover, three or four, things all at one time. What my goal here is with you is to give you a way to actually get started and a way to actually make some progress in what it is that you want to do. And so right now I'm going to pull up, just give me a second here. I'm going to get my text number. Oh wow. Okay, so I don't see that. It's in it's in the video from yesterday, and I'm not going to take time to go look for it right now. But just know that you ought to watch that video from yesterday. So go ahead and do that. And all right, so let's get started. All right, so what we're going to do first of all is we're going to approach this in three stages. Okay, in three basic overall steps. Okay, so step number one you should have already completed where you identified or figured out, okay, what do I actually know that can be helpful to another person? And most people take what they know for granted. And what I suggest you do is not make that mistake, but write down everything that you know that you've experienced, where you have before and after results, where you've been able to learn something, to figure something out. And there's a wide range of things that people are willing to actually pay to learn online. You'd be surprised. I told you the example yesterday of someone who, a friend of mine, who paid about $100 to someone to learn how to play pool. And it's something that he wanted to do. And so he found a free video on YouTube, and then he got back to the person's website, and it was a simple web page, and it was offering information and access to videos on how to play pool. And he paid the guy that. And he told me something very interesting. He said, Ramon, he said, look, the guy really needs to talk to you because like two of the links that he sent me through the email didn't even work. And he followed back up with the guy, and the guy figured out how to get him the videos. But he said, I don't have a clue about this technology stuff. He just has something that he knows how to do, and he wants to teach other people how to do that. Okay, and people are willing to pay. So that's really the first step. And what you want to do is you want to list everything. Don't leave anything out. And one of the advantages and the benefits of participating in our 6-week course or working with me as your coach or being part of these dailies and reaching out and saying, hey, Ramon, this is what I'm thinking about, or here's the homework that I completed, here's my list, what do you think? I can give you feedback to sort of get you in the right direction. Because there's really three fundamental things that always work. Three fundamental things that always work. One has to do with anything related to money. Okay, and one secret that I've noticed over the years is that if you show a person how to earn an income with something you're interested in or with a hobby that they are doing, okay, so how to do XYZ hobby and make money with it, that's a winner. So you can show people how to build a side income with knitting, for example, by selling their items on Etsy or YouTube, not YouTube, but what's the other E? eBay. Okay. So anything related to money, earning money, making more money, um, saving money, turning your whatever it is you have or what you do into extra income. All of that is very, very popular. The other big topic is anything related to health. So if you've been able to lose weight, if you've been able to, so one thing that I'm seeing right now is that a lot of women are really concerned about facial stuff. For some reason, this facial stuff is big. And one woman told me that she's wearing masks and that's causing her to break out. And so she's looking for solutions to solve those breakout problems. There's another woman that I heard mention the fact that she's got like under her arms, not under her arms, under her eyes are a little dark. And so she's looking for a way to lighten the area under her eyes. And she found something on YouTube where they were talking about using turmeric and honey and I don't know what the thing was, but it was a little recipe basically. That's something that a lot of women are looking for. And then she got additional information from a woman that she met. Evidently, it's some kind of a home remedy from India that women know about, and it's really great for your skin. Well, that potentially is a product. It's information that you can share with people, and it's something related to health. And I'd add in there with health, beauty, fitness, working out at home, all of those kind of things. Another big topic for people has to do with relationships, anything with relationships. So dating over Zoom or using online dating in the midst of everything that's going on in the world. So just make a big list of all of that stuff. One thing that I've earned income with that was really a surprise to me. I didn't even think about it because it was something that I was able to do at one point in my life, and I just didn't think it was a big deal. I mean, I knew that people struggled with it, but I didn't think about it in terms of offering it as a product or even a service to other people. And that had to do with public speaking. One of my challenges with public speaking, and this is a key, I'm going to show you, this is the key to a before and after. Okay, this is a really important key, what I'm getting ready to share with you right here. This is a big deal. Okay, so before and after. So what happened, my before story had to do with I really struggle with writing speeches. In fact, my mother wrote my first winning speech. Okay, it was called After 200 Years, America, What Now? And I did it in the 4-H clubs, and I won the first prize for public speaking. And that was my first winning speech. And I never felt like I was really good at writing speeches. And there comes a time when your mom has to stop writing your speeches, okay, and helping you with your presentations. And so I didn't think writing speeches. I thought my strength was giving speeches, not writing speeches. And so I came up with a simple way to write a speech using a form of mind mapping on a sheet of paper. And I was able to actually write a winning speech that allowed me to win a public speaking competition in New York City. And we only had a short period of time to do it. And so I wrote a winning speech literally in the last 20 to 30 minutes. I was able to get a speech mapped out. I made that speech. I won that speaking competition. And I've used that over and over as a paid speaker, even when called on at the last minute. And so I developed a simple method for writing a winning speech in 20 minutes or less. And I didn't think of that as having much value at all. But that was my before situation. I struggled with writing a speech or putting together some words that I was going to share with people. And then my after was that I was able to figure out a method whereby I could write a winning speech in just 20 to 30 minutes. And so that's a before and after. That's a before and after result. And there's a methodology in which that I use to be able to get that result. And that's really the second overall step in this process here. And this is your solution, and specifically the steps that get you or get another person the results that you've been able to achieve. Now we're going to go over to a new sheet here, because what I want to do is I want to talk to you about how to get a person from painful problem, okay, to a happy place, okay? And so your job is to get your customer, get your client from an unhappy place to a happy place. And there's a series of steps that help them get to that place. And so we're going to put a series of steps here, and I'm just going to use 5 steps, okay, in this process, okay? And I'm going to write these a little bit of a different way, because I usually talk about doing a 6-week course, and so I'm going to do these like this, so I can actually get 6 little steps in there. Okay, it doesn't have to be 6, but that's just what I've done. Okay, all right, so now what you're going to do is you're going to get in the kitchen, so to speak. So you may have heard me tell the story about my grandmother who made the best biscuits ever. And I really, really wanted to be able to make those biscuits, okay? And have my daughter make those biscuits. Well, the trouble is there's no recipe, okay? And there's like, okay, let me try to explain it. So my grandmother's in the kitchen, and she's like, she gets all the ingredients out, and she just starts putting them in the mixing bowl. And she's like moving at hyper speed, like on autopilot, because she's done it for 50, 60, 70 years. Okay? And you don't know what she's doing. You don't know how much of this she's putting in. You don't know how much of that. You don't know the steps. You don't know the order. None of that. You just know that the best biscuits in the world come out of the oven. It's very similar with whatever it is you know how to do. Chances are you're doing it on autopilot, or you're doing it in such a way where it's almost unconscious. You are unconsciously competent, okay? And what you've got to do is become consciously competent. So you've got to go from, and I would need to write on the screen more so that you're not just sitting there, but you are unconsciously competent about something, and you've got to become consciously competent about it. So what do I mean by that? You've got to get to the point where you can actually explain how to get a result that the person wants to get, and the series of steps that make that happen. And this is what this is about. So at this point, what you want to do is get in the kitchen. You want to think about, okay, so where was I before? What happened? And then what was the result that I got? And then what were the actual steps? And if I were going to walk a person through this process, step them through, and not leave anything out, what would I tell them first? What would I tell them second? What would I tell them third, fourth, fifth, so on? So what you want to do is you want to figure out, okay, what's that first step? Now, I'm not going to do an actual example here, though in our 3-hour 3 and 3, we're actually going to do that. We're going to take an actual piece of knowledge that we want to convey to another person to get a result, and we're going to build a product around that in 3 hours and get it online where people can give us money for it. And again, I'll invite you into that when you send a text message to me, and that special text message where you can get updates from me about what's going on. Okay, so here's the deal. What you want to do is you basically want to do something very important in the first lesson. In the first lesson, you basically want to define the true problem. Okay, so you want to really say, okay, here is the true problem. And you want to address any kind of mindset issue or false belief or limiting belief they have about getting the result. And then what you want to do in the second session is you want to give them step 1. Then you want to give them step 2. So in the sense of writing a winning speech, for example, step 1 is to have, for example, a specific topic that you want, okay? And then what do you want to happen at the end, okay? And then the second would be, mind map your ideas, okay? And then step 3 would be to create an outline and add stuff in there. And then step 4 might be, for example, to have your story and quotes, okay? And then there's a step 5, which is, rehearse and tighten, go through it real quick so you're familiar with it and tighten it up. Okay, so if I were just doing it off the top of my head, that might be the steps. Okay, now, you don't have to get this right or perfect. You've just got to get it done. And one of the big mistakes, one of the things that cause people to be stopped and stuck in this whole process is they try to get it perfect. And I'm a big perfectionist too, so I get it. But you want to forget perfect because perfect never gets done. So what you want to do is you want to get, and we'll call it your beta version, as quickly as possible, okay? And what you want to do with this is that once you've got this thing outlined, you've got the basic process, you want to get it into a format that people can access it quickly so that they can give you feedback and then you can improve it from there. So you can go from beta to version 1 very, very quickly. Now, the best way that I've found to do this is to get your steps into slides. My experience and observation is that more people can put it into a slide, 1 point per slide, and talk it out like a presentation that you were giving over Zoom, for example. You show slides and then you talk about each slide for about a minute or 2. And the key there is to put 1 idea per slide so the slides are constantly moving and they're not just sitting there static while people are listening to you talk for 5 minutes, okay? But put together some slides and then teach it out. Do a Zoom where you invite people to come up there that are interested in the topic, and even if you've got 3 to 4 to 5 people there, do the Zoom and then record it, okay? And what you'll find is that as you do that, you'll get feedback, you'll get questions, you'll also get more confident in presenting the information, okay? Now you've got something that people can buy, all right? And then the third step that we're going to talk about is you've got to get some sales. Now, I'm not talking about being a salesperson, but you've got to have a process for people to actually pay you for this knowledge and information. And the way that I'm talking about it here with the Zoom method is that you can teach it out live, or you can teach it out once and record it and then give them access to the videos. Now, there's a bunch of little technical steps in there that we go through in the 6-week course, and I can help you with that and make it a lot easier than figuring it out on your own. And by the way, if you're interested in our 6-week course and you want to get on the waiting list and get invited in, go over to 6-week course, just spelled out, 6-week course, and click the box on that page and give us your email, and we'll let you know when the next class is opening up. Okay, so now when we talk about sales, what we're really talking about is having a methodology to cause a person to make that click in their head that there's something you have that can help them get what they want, and then having a way for them to give you money online to do that. And there's really 3 steps to the process. So step 1, okay, is to have some sort of demonstration content. This is a checklist, this is a video, and the fastest, easiest way to make that is to look at your steps and then to take one aspect of this, okay? So if I were doing something related to how to write a winning speech, this would probably be the one that I would pick. I would pick how to do a mind map, and I would call it the napkin mind map, the napkin mind map strategy. Why am I calling it that? Because that's exactly what I did, okay, when I first started figuring this out. I literally drew a mind map on a napkin to find the main points that I wanted to do. Another option that I might do is I might do something where I talk about the structure, the invisible structure of a winning speech, okay? And I would have a checklist that went through that. But I'd take one specific aspect of that content and I would put it in some sort of demonstration piece where I'm giving them a piece of valuable content, and that moves them then, okay? That moves them then to a buy page with a buy button where they can sign up. And then I need a page that is a thank you page where I'm delivering it. Now, all of these pages are set up in WordPress, okay? I use and recommend WordPress as a tool, and then there's a specific piece of software that we use with WordPress that allows us to make these pages easily. Now, inside of 6-week course, I actually give you templates for all of these pages, but I want to explain here what these pages are, and you can leverage my templates to just do it faster, so you're not having to come up with it from scratch, okay? Because it's not the easiest thing to do when it comes to technology. So if you've got that, if you've got the basic framework, it's a lot better for you. Okay, so on the buy page here, basically what we're going to have is a kind of sales letter that basically says, here's the problem, here's the solution, or here's the problem. Let me map this out for you. Basic sales letter. Here's the problem. And we expose the problem through a story, a situation, or some sort of statistic. Okay? The next thing we do in the sales letter is we basically say the mistake. Here's the mistake that most people try to do to solve it that doesn't work. Then the next thing we cover in the sales letter is we introduce the solution. Okay? Then what we do is we introduce what I refer to as the secret sauce that makes the solution work. Okay? This is the thing it's like that activates the solution and takes it over the top. Okay? And we don't really give away, obviously, the secret, but we allude to the fact that there is a secret here that I'm actually going to teach you, and that's what they're really buying, okay? And then what we want to do is we want to show some sort of proof in terms of how it worked for us, and other people, and you won't have proof to begin with, so you show your results and how it worked, and then from there, you make them a very clear offer. Okay, here's what you're going to get, and then from there, we do a call to action, and we remove the risk. So we say, hey, try this out for $1 for 10 days. And if you're not absolutely convinced, you owe nothing else. If you are, you pay me the additional $26. It'll automatically bill to your credit card and you'll have the product, et cetera, et cetera. And then obviously you've got a buy button, and we do the buy button. We connect that up with Stripe, which is a free payment processing tool that allows you to take MasterCard, Visa, and American Express and others through your website. And we integrate that with the templates that we provide with you. And I know integrate and templates and all of this sounds complicated, but we have worked it out to make it as simple as possible. We even have a technical team that will do the implementation for you if that's what you want. Okay, so this is the whole process of what happens with that buying step to bring about sales. And then obviously you've got a thank you page, and on your thank you page is where you'll actually deliver the product. You'll either give them a link to join you live in Zoom, or you will put on the page the links to all the videos for people to watch. All right, let's take a deep breath. We have literally gone through the process of mapping out, hey, here's how you take what you know, okay, the idea, and then put it into some steps, create some slides, go onto Zoom and teach it out to people. And then what you want to do is have a sales process, a buying process, where you give them some free content. And by the way, the secret of free content is that you want to address the limiting or negative belief they have that stops them, not giving away how to. This is a really important secret, and I'm going to show you how this actually works as we progress and give you an example of how you create that free content. Okay, so tomorrow, what we're going to do is we're actually going to go in and look at how do you structure a piece of free content to make it very attractive, but not have people thinking, well, they're giving me this for free, maybe they're going to give me some more free stuff and I can kind of figure it out on my own without buying the thing. That's the fear that people have with free content. I'll show you tomorrow how to solve that. Hey, what did you like best about today's live? Send an email to support@coachinghelpdesk.com and let me know. I'd love to hear what you liked best. If you've got any questions that you want to cover or want me to cover, or topics you want me to cover in a future live. And if you can recommend this to others, I would appreciate your saying so. If you want to be notified when our next 6-week course opens up, where we take you by the hand, step by step by step by step, and actually help you implement turning what you know into paid coaching courses or content, then go over to 6weekcourse.com, 6weekcourse.com, 6 spelled out, and put your name in the notification. Click the box there, type in your name. We will notify you and walk you through the process to help you go from what you know to getting paid for what you know in the fastest way possible. Again, that's all for this live. I will see you tomorrow.